Today we're going to be walking you through how to build directionally challenged this team. Anyway, yeah, let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I want to point out is simply that Teshar is our leader. That's it. The only thing I wanted to note is that we are putting Teshar in the leader position. Other than that, we're not too worried about too much. This is not a speed team per se, but it will clear very fast, it's very consistent, and it will do Abyss hard on repeat battle, which is really what you're looking for. And it's a lot faster than most of the teams I've seen on you guys, sorry. But we're going to start with Shannon. You get her from Giants checking strategy info in Summoner's Way. If you don't have her already, grab her from there. If you already grabbed her from there and then fed her, you're dumb. But also, you can just get her from Unknown Scrolls, so go fetch. I also think she might be a secret dungeon. I can't remember for sure. But the main thing is you need her skilled out. She actually needs her skill ups. You need to feed her 1, 6, 13 other pixies before she's actually going to be usable for you. But once you get her to that point, and if you haven't seen actually what I just did there, you can click that little button and it'll take you to their rune page. And we can sort for Swift, and we're going to say we want a speed slot 2, which I already have on her, so we can get rid of the 2 slot. And let's get some more speed on her, because we want her going first, ideally. We're not really caring about too much other than the speed. We'll keep the stat line here. But then we'll go a broken set, and we'll say, oh, we're not sorting by sub-property. There we go. Slot 1's got a 20. We'll make an energy set. That'll give us a little more speed. This is a very, very early game account, to be real with you. There's not a whole lot going on here. This 20 speed is kind of crazy. You don't need it. The 18, wow, I have 23 speed on this count. I didn't even notice that when I was putting it on it. Anyway, you don't need this fast. You just don't. Actually, the boss is 169 speed, so technically after towers, that's what you need, I believe. And if anybody can correct me on that, drop a comment, because I'm not positive on those numbers. But you do need to have your, where is it, your tower here. If you go to skills, you do need your attack speed, crit damage, and attack power to be maxed for this to be workable. Without them, honestly, it's just too hard to get the rune quality needed in early game. But if you just blast level ups to 50, hit these 3, and then start working on water, wind, and I don't know if you need dark. You might need dark for Veromos. And then just from there, obviously, fill everything out. But really, you just need these 3. And once that's done, it won't be too bad to get even Teshar over that 170 mark. But we're somehow hitting 270. But it'll work. It's fine. But after Shannon goes, we need Prilea. And we used to use Bernard for this same slot because getting speed on your runes used to be nearly impossible. It was so difficult. So we would use him so that our base speed didn't need to be as high, so that we could use him for the defense breaker, and then Shannon would slow, and it was seriously like you just didn't need rune quality, which was pretty cool. But now they just give you the rune quality needed to do this, like literally this, literally this dungeon. So there's no reason not to use it. Prilea is also pretty easy to get. She drops from a scenario stage. I want to say it was... Oops. I think she only drops from hell mode. No. It's one of these. Is it different? Guess not. Thought it was for some reason. One of these drops harpies. But I think it has harpies in... It's gotta be Kabir. There it is. You can get her from Kabir Ruins or Mystic Scrolls, or she's just an at 3. There is even a chance you can get her off oops. Weird. There is a chance you can even get her off an unknown... Or, yeah, off unknown scrolls. So, not too bad. You can definitely get a hold of one. It might take you a little work, but she exists. So, when we're ruining her, the only thing that really matters is the accuracy. We really want to try to get to 100% if at all possible. And I don't have any other focus runes, so I think we might have to go with an accuracy main stat. We can go ahead and grab this energy one. And from there, we want some accuracy subs, probably, because we're still only at 80%. And we'll go energy rune again. We'll just grab this one that's not on. Another quad roll. Wow. This account's lucky. Her speed was already about right. We're at 84% accuracy. We still need to pick up a little bit more, for sure. We don't need that ruined right now. We are not to the point of using it yet. Wow, I have no 5 slots with both speed and accuracy. Do I have a speed slot too that's got some accuracy in the sub? No. Okay, 84 might be the best we can do right now. I'll go ahead and apply that, and we'll see how it runs. But, oh, forgot to 12 that. Don't forget to power up your runes, guys. 15 this one. And she goes second now. So third, I like to have Veromos go third. It helps him cleanse off the defense break the boss gives, right? Yeah, defense break. Nothing really helps you with the attack buff. I don't have a strip in the team other than Teshar's skilled 2, but I think that'll be okay. Actually, I know it'll be okay. I've done this a few times. But if we have Veromos go third, I'm gonna go for a crit damage slot 4. And this part isn't super important. It'll just help speed your team up. It's not critical. Don't sweat the crit damage slot. Wow, there's a crit damage slot 4 on Prilea. I don't feel like I want that there, but we're gonna leave it for now. There's no speed on the existing slot. We're losing 6% crit rate, so we're gonna need to go up some crit rate to make this crit damage matter. Nice, we got some speed on that. We take them. We'll go for a speed main with some crit rate. Yeah, why is... I don't even know why Lulu is ruined on this account. We are running out of mana, though. 64% crit rate. It's a little better. We want speed with it. Let's try to grab runes that aren't on people, but that seems to not be too easy. Wow, that is fast. Alright, we're hitting 70% crit rate. It's not great, but it's usable, I think. What's our speed looking like? Going third. Perfect. Okay. So after we have Veromos going third, I do Teshar. And you'll note, I already have Teshar ruined. It didn't take me too long to do this, but I have exactly 67% crit rate here. You do not need more than this, period. Teshar only needs 67% crit rate. More than that, fine, not a big deal. So, like, don't not put good runes on him because you want low crit rate. But you need 67% exact because you get 33% from his leader skill. And crit rate is one of the hardest stats to really stack up. A lot of pros will use crit rate 4 slots anymore because you can grindstone everything else and gem everything else. Well, I mean, you can gem crit rate, but it's just easier to gem on and then enchant up some HP than it is to gem on and then not enchant up or grind up a crit rate. So they just go with crit rate slot 4. With this leader skill, you don't gotta worry about it. We throw the 4 slot crit damage on, we get 2 attack slots on, and then you try to match his speed with these 3 runes. Hopefully. It is difficult. If you have a lot of runes already, if you've put runes on a lot of monsters already, it's going to be hard to get those runes. You will have to take everything off of other stuff to make this work properly if you're still early game. That's okay. Do it. Grind the runes in Giants, and then you'll have new runes for those people you just took runes off of, and it's going to be way better, and you'll have a lot more. But the main thing here is that he needs 67% crit rate. He needs to go before the boss. And you need as much freaking crit damage and attack as you can possibly pump into this thing. Seriously, hits like a truck. The scaler is insane. Any attack artifacts you happen to have, which I might actually on that note. Wow, I have no artifacts. Again, super early game. Anything you can put on him, do it. All of the skill ups, he needs it all. I would say skill up order of importance. You need to get Shannon, and you need to get Prilea done. I don't know for certain if you 100% need Teshar fully skilled out, but I would recommend it ASAP. Veromos does not need to be full skilled, but I would still recommend it. Your speeds will be different with skill ups. I don't have full skill ups yet on this one. And the Homunculus doesn't need, definitely wants. The more skill ups you put into this team, the more rune quality you put into this team, the faster it will be. Once you get this under like a 40-second, you're probably good to transition into an actual speed team, and that isn't too far from this. You're really just swapping 2 monsters out to go into the riskier glass cannon team, and we'll do another video on that later at another time. But right now, I want to show people you can just get through Giant's Abyss, and that helps you get through the rest of the game so much faster. But now that I have those 4 monsters ruined up, I'm going to take a look at, I call him Giants Unit 5 because I went into this knowing what I was going to do. But we're going to grab Rage Blade because he has some insane debuff scaling. And we're just going to try to get him up to that 67% crit rate again. Man, I am really, really low on Rage runes. That puts me at 64. I need 3 more. We're in Blade. Let me see, attack percent. That's 3 more. I'm out of mana. I hate doing this. I don't want to do that. Let's not. I'm gonna... all. And I always use Say Shizo's rune config for newbies to get started. And as I, progress the account or whatever, I update that a little bit. But since that came out, I applied it to every one of my accounts, and from there I've just been upgrading the minimums on everything, and it's pretty solid. I mean, you still gotta sell a bit after the fact, but it really does help quite a lot. Hey guys, one more thing, totally forgot to mention, the skill order on the Homunculus is actually very important. That's the upgrade skill evolution tree here, so your choices matter quite a lot, but you're definitely grabbing wind. We're grabbing that first skill, and then we're going bottom tree, third option, third option. That gives us the most damage scaling across the board and the fastest animations, so don't forget to hit that button. And if you look again, the Homunculus is going last. That's very important. That's going to affect your dungeon times substantially. So make sure he's going last. But now that we're here, let's give it a shot. And you'll notice, like, my Teshar doesn't one-shot the wave. We are taking quite a bit of time. That is very much able to be locked down here. There's a ton of ways to speed this up. And not just by swapping monsters out. Simply skilling up Veromos would actually speed this up quite a bit. Skilling up the Homunculus would speed this up quite a bit. If I could get any more damage on Teshar, it would speed it up quite a bit. But once you get to the point where it is fairly consistent and fairly fast, we end up swapping Shannon and Veromos out for Konamiya and what's the easiest free-to-play option? Probably a Crow, even. A lot of my accounts I'll use Luna. She's pretty solid. You could use Lynn, Sigmaris, any sort of big HP or debuff-based scaling unit. We're really just looking to pump some crit damage into him, because that's all you really got to do with this guy. And in just a sec, we're going to see why this team's so consistent. Or not. We cleared without the Homunculus dying. Even if the Homunculus had died, he comes back and does, I think, 40% increased damage. So it's a pretty consistent clear. I honestly can't remember the last time I saw it fail once it was actually speed tuned in. It's pretty solid. Even with the speed team, like, you don't really see it fail too often. Every once in a while it gets slowed down because Teshar doesn't full clear the wave for some reason, or Prilea will miss the defense break somehow, even with 100% accuracy and attribute advantage. That'll just happen. But really, you can get away with a lot. And again, this account's only level 87, and it's got sub 1 minute everything, because I went here first. Most people anymore, apparently, will go Necro first, and that makes sense, so you can get the Rage runes, so you can do this. But if you get Teshar out the gate, why not? Oh, here we go. Here's the res. Oh, but no skill ups. I don't know if he's gonna do it. This might be cooked. Ooh. Just so much damage, but I don't know if it clears. No! If Veromos was skilled up, that one cleared. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Oh well. Well, now you see when and why it fails, and why we need to skill everything up. Super important. I don't know if maybe I have Devilmon. Let me see. I like to store them until I can skill something a lot of the time. Yeah. We'll just full skill him. And we'll see how fast this is now. Let's see, rank. 1:16 is my fastest time right now. Oh, another way you could speed this up, you don't need Veromos going second, or going third, technically. Teshar could. If Teshar went right after Prilea, then it would be faster. You'd have less animations happening, and Veromos wouldn't be using cooldowns. Which would also guarantee he has skill 2 on the mid-boss, which is % health damage, so technically that would even be faster. There's a whole lot of optimization you can make on this without even changing the team. It's just little rune tweaks, some skill ups, and it's a totally different team, but same monsters. Give it just a second longer to finish. Get hit with another counterattack. There we go. That's the time. Come on. 1:21. Okay. Nothing crazy. But we're gonna end it because I'm also now going to grab Giants Unit 5 and we'll skill him up. All of them. Nice. That's the one you want. If skill 3 is maxed, you're doing pretty alright. Skill 2, you can still get... Oh, wow. 2-turn cooldown reduction. Kind of crazy. So this would make it even faster for sure, because it would mean skill 2 is up in the boss room. Which will make it, I guess, more consistent is the better word, because it should have the same speed, theoretically. At like max speed, I guess, but average will be lower, which is, I mean, what you want when you're doing a couple hundred runs a week. And some of y'all heard me say a couple hundred runs a week, and you went, a couple hundred runs a week? What? Yeah, honestly, if your runs are like 5 minutes, I don't know how you're still playing the game, dude. You're getting 12 runs in the amount of time it takes me to do 90. Think about that. Think about how many more runes in a day I see versus what you're seeing. Just making this change will put you closer to me than that. At 1 minute, you're seeing half the number of runes I'm seeing per day instead of 100th. Almost. Nah, a tenth. A tenth. Math is hard. Point is, I mean, I'm hitting my best time. Just chilling here on the first run. Some of this might sound like I'm downplaying or like I'm shit talking or whatever, but after 8 years of playing this game and coming back and finding out how fast you can do some of this, I needed to get it out. Like, seriously, if I kept posting videos, you guys would have crazy accounts right now, and you don't, because I didn't tell you how to do this stuff. We're gonna let a 10 run, and I'll show off the average afterwards, but we did just get our new best time on the second run. And again, these runes, they all come from right here. I didn't even grab them all. I did grab them all. But they're all right here. Everything you need is right here. If you don't have this event, your account's pretty old. Honestly. But even in that case, come over here. Do this. Get yourself some rage runes. And you notice mine are all grayed out, yours might be too. But if they are, you come into here, and you do like Necro B5 or something, and you spam it. You spam it, and you spam it, and you spam it. And you come into these events, and you always pick rage runes for anything that lets you pick a rune. You always pick the Necro symbols, and I swear to you, in like a week, you will have enough rage runes to do exactly this team. And if you still can't, if you're struggling that bad, put Teshar in Fatal. It's fine. You can put Teshar in Fatal. Don't do the Homunculus on Fatal. He needs the crit damage because he's scaling. He's fully scaling. Everything about him is scaling, so like it doesn't work as well. But the Teshar definitely can go on Fatal. Veromos is on Swift. Prilea is on Swift. Shannon's on Swift. They don't have to be, but it's what's easiest to not have to worry about rune quality, because nobody's really taking a hit until the boss room anyways. You're not worried about keeping it. I say that and they get smacked. You're not really worried about them taking a hit. You're worried about them doing what they need to do and getting out of your way. And Swift is the easiest way to make that happen on any unit. Oh, are we gonna fail? No, this is looking fine now. Alright, finally reaching the end of our 10 run, and one thing I forgot to talk about in my welcome back-ish video is the changes to Amiria's luck, which also came with the scout battling changes and all that. You'll notice my drop rates are substantially better than they used to be. I'm auto-selling and only 2 runes don't clear the criteria, and that's because this one's a flat 4 slot with no speed, and because this is a flat 6 slot with no speed. All of the rest of these runes clear, and it's not because my filters are low. These runes are usable to an early game account for sure. Almost all of them. In a mid to late game account, I would probably sell most of these, but also in a mid to late game account, I would have had my crit rate setting set to like 5%, and this would have got sold. And like, probably I wouldn't have kept this because it doesn't have 3 or more percent stats or speed. That's pretty consistently my like mid-game criteria. Like this rune I would have kept for sure, even on a mid-game account. This is pretty solid. No matter what this last slot rolls, I can enchant it into speed and then grindstone it up, and it's a usable rune. We did clear our best time in one time clear. Our average was 13 minutes, which is just way better than anything most early game accounts can hope to do without Teshar. You can get somewhat close with Sigmaris and Veromos, but we'll do another video on a free-to-play Giant's Abyss. I personally prefer the Kyle route, but this is the pay-to-win, quick, fast, dirty. I rerolled an account, got an LD5, and want to get through Giants. If you're min-maxing, or if you're a old player coming back and you've never cleared Abyss hard, this team will work. This is the team I would recommend if you have Teshar, specifically. If you don't have Teshar, I'm very sorry. This game is going to be much more difficult for you than those who do have him. But not that bad. Not that bad. Not like it used to be bad. At all. Not even close. Like, it used to be 6 months and now you can clear giants. Now it's, okay, I logged into the game, I cleared scenario. Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna clear giants. Beat 10. Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna clear abyss. Alright, tomorrow I'm gonna clear dragons. Like, you really can just, one day at a time, knock out the whole game and end up late game in a matter of a couple of weeks. And I say late game very, very loosely because I don't mean you'll be to the point where you're like G1 in arena and all this other crap, but I mean you'll have cleared all PvE content, you'll be ready to start looking at RTA and at Siege and building units for those, and your nat 5s will start mattering. Until you've cleared all of PvE, they don't really matter all that much. The only ones that do are like Teshar. Units you can use in dungeons, and not just you can use them, but that they are the most efficient for their slot in dungeons. The only few units that even touch that classification are Teshar, Liam, and Sonya that I've seen so far, and Sonya's still even kind of like an because you don't really need a speed clear artifact dungeon super early. That's just not a thing. That's like a premium end game build it because it's funny kind of thing, really. I'm gonna do it on any account I can because it's cool and it does help, but it's not that important. Giants is arguably the most important thing in the entire game for anyone to clear at any given point in time. If you can't do Giants Abyss, you can't do anything else, really. You maybe Necro. But, like, your PvP is just gonna suffer. Swift runes are everything for PvP, so without them, you're kind of dead in the water unless you got a Lucifer. Good luck to those guys. We'll do another video on that dumb shit some other time, but that's not a today subject. I'll do a little breakdown on the runes again. So we've got Veromos on Swift Energy. Nothing too special other than that one slot. And this is what his stat line looks like. Crit damage 4, high crit rate. If you can. If you can't, just go speed at HP, it's fine. Eventually you'll get a crit damage slot 4 to put on him and it'll go faster. But even without the crit damage 4, you could probably hit like a 1 minute 30, which is still a lot better than the 5 to 10 minutes I was seeing on some people. Yes, 10 minutes. Some people actually just sit through Riley 1v1ing the boss, and like, that's awesome, that's hilarious, that's sweet, but oh my god, you're doing that every day? Bro, just do this, and then show your team off when it's funny and you want to show your buddy, but like, use this to grind every day. That's crazy. Shannon, not too different. Her stat line doesn't matter too much. She shouldn't be taking too much damage. She just needs to go first or second. I prefer first, but that's it. Her turn order is the only thing you care about on her. She doesn't matter otherwise. She just has to be skilled so she can use this third skill on loop to make sure that everybody has an attack buff and a defense buff. The third unit was Prilea, which you can replace with Lauren. Just know that your stat line will have to be a little bit better because Lauren hits 3 times and that triggers the boss's counterattack a lot more frequently. So I prefer Prilea because less hits. 2 on the first skill, 2 on the second skill, and 1 on the third. It's a lot easier to squeak some attacks in on the boss without getting smacked back. It's just a preference on my end. But for her, again, her accuracy and her turn order are the two things that matter on her. Her rune requirements are just ever so slightly higher than Shannon's, in that I do think you need a accuracy slot 6. But again, she shouldn't be taking too much damage, and she doesn't need to put it out, so really you just need her landing that defense break, just like Bernard back in Giants B10 10 years ago. Unit 4 was our trusty Teshar. Arguably, no, almost inarguably, the best RGB Nat 5 in the game for anybody mid to early game. I can't think of one better, to be honest. This one unit just blasts your account progress so fast. It's obscene. It's like Lucian back in the day, but you know, an F5 with a leader skill. Like, well, I guess Lucian has a leader skill too, but you don't need 2 Teshars to clear, and honestly, you don't need 2 Teshars to cleave in arena either. We'll do an actual, like, Teshar review some other point in time. The point of this video isn't just to glaze Teshar, but that's what it's turned into. Anyway, 67% crit rate because it's a damage dealer, and we have the 33% in the leader skill. This is your cleave, this is your wave clear, this is your go fast unit. The more damage you can put into it, attack and crit damage, the better. But that 67% crit rate, and I think 169 is the exact speed needed to get him tuned in. I could be wrong. If somebody has a speed that works that's lower but still goes before the mid boss, let me know. But that's because you need the Homunculus going at 168, if I'm not mistaken. Again, let me know if I'm wrong. Attack, crit damage, attack. I've got him on rage on both ends. Their runes are very, very similar. That's why I hadn't gone through them like that yet. Some of these sets were identical when we got them. Where is... Maybe not. Okay, these aren't the same ones. One of these rune sets came off of Baliger from the Fever event, which is why he looks like crap now. But it can be a little difficult to get 2 sets of rage runes in the early game. So if you grab them from the Summoner's Way event, if you grab them from the Fever event, and for whatever reason you got rid of any of these runes, you're going to be grinding for a minute. Teshar can be on Fatal. It's doable. It's a little bit harder to get the damage in, like rune quality wise, but at least since you're already doing Giants, grinding it's not too bad. You can get it. But the Homunculus almost absolutely needs to be on Rage. I haven't seen it work with Fatal yet. You could maybe get away with Triple Blade if you had some insane crit damage rolls on the runes, but this is the easiest way to get it that I've found, I guess is what I'm saying. But with that, I think those are all of our monsters, and we'll give one more shot of the speeds synced up in a list there so you can see them all. And yeah, I think that's all we got. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to stop in for the next one, because we'll try it without Teshar next. Catch you later.